step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use every comment, hate that makes my feel. Gather up my energy and boom, I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with, giving my blood so I am relentless.
This is the Keep Hammering Collective with the reigning, defending
UFC champion of the world.
UFC pull-up champion of the world, Truett Hanes.
And a third-time guest.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I heard I saw a comment, somebody say, I thought this podcast was for outliers.
I was going to say that if you weren't, and I hope in your eyes, whoever you are that commented that I've lived up to your expectation for the show.
You haven't. You for sure haven't. Not compared to somebody who would say that. But no, I think they think like, oh, you're just interviewing your kid.
Nepotism is what I saw.
Right. There you go. But let's just say you are the two-time and now defending Guinness Book of World Record official pull-up champion in 24 hours with 10,001 pull-ups, right? I think that's outlier status. What do you think?
If that's not, then I don't know what is, I guess. But I will say last time, the first podcast that I did with you, the first episode, it said, I think former Guinness World Record holder.
Yeah.
And then so now it should say current.
Yeah.
And that's a lot better.
We're making some headway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, what a day that was. I mean, looking back on it, do you ever think about it now? Or if you had to remember that day where you did 10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours, what do you think of now?
I think that the job is done. Mm-hmm. And so it was a lot of years, obviously, more specifically 6 months, dedicated to that one goal. And then I got it, and now it's on to the next. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't spend too much time thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that was awesome. But I don't know if you can really just sit there and be extremely proud for the rest of your life and not really think about the next thing. I'm just always, on to the next. And I mean, I can't be proud of my effort, but it really doesn't do too much for me now. I just got the official certificate in the mail right before we left to come here. And I just looked at it and I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm not just brought to tears or anything. It didn't really, I think more than anything, it just proved what I already knew about myself. I was like, yeah, I know that I can get the record. And then it validated it, sure, but I already knew that it was going to happen. And then so it wasn't a big shock to me.
Yeah. You were just dotting the I's, crossing the T's, put in the work. This was a goal, got it done.
Yep.
Yeah. And here's what's crazy. Well, if it does ever get broke, which I'm sure it will, all records go down eventually, right? But here's what's crazy is your 12-hour pace is almost unbeatable. Almost, you would think, because you were right almost to 7,000 in 12 hours. The 12-hour world record's what, 5,600?
Well, actually, it just got broken.
Oh, it did?
7,100.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, never mind then. Somebody crushed it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got to 6,900 at 12 hours. Mm-hmm. And then so one could argue if I was going just for 12 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Then I could make up 200 reps.
Definitely.
But that's not to take away from the guy that just crushed it.
No. He was beating 5,600.
Yeah.
And he did it by 1,500, whatever. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. So no one told him that he had to get 7,100. He just gave his absolute all, and that's what he ended up with. Mm-hmm. A lot of respect for that, because most guys, when you're going to break the record, they break it by 100, 200, maybe 300. Normally it's never 800, which was what I was able to do this last time. And then for him to do the math, it's 1,400 more. It's to have that hunger to keep going the whole time, even though you already smashed the record. Mm-hmm. It's hard to find that mindset.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also hard just to keep that pace up, to that point. So 7,000 in 12 hours for you, and then 3,000 in the second 12.
Right.
So it's, yeah. And once you get it, obviously, I know after you broke it this last time, it was the energy went out of the room. It was freaking over. I was sleep on a bean bag, or I don't even know what I was in, but barely paying attention. The music was probably off. everybody went home, and then you're just like, God, I still got to get. So you broke the record, but you wanted to get 10,000. You still had to get 700 more,
750 more. Yeah. And yeah, that doesn't just happen.
No,
you really have to just chip away at it. My hands were absolutely shredded at that time, and then so to just finish that out. You said that you're going to do it, so you have to do it. And luckily, I had like 6 hours though.
Yeah,
so I could just take my sweet time.
Took it all, but yeah. That's tough. After you reach your goal, it'd be like, you finish a 100-mile race and they're like, hey, you just want to get a few more? Fuck, not really.
Right.
My mindset was to get 100 and I got it. But yeah, so hard. But yeah, incredible day. First man or human to go over 10,000 pull-ups in 24 hours. So that was pretty special. Yeah. Was it harder than you thought it'd be? Or was a challenge in the work leading up and just getting your body ready?
And that's the biggest takeaway for me is, and I think David Roche, the Leadville course, he just broke that record. It was like 27 years old or whatever. Mm-hmm. You have to absolutely kill yourself in training, and then you kind of already know that you're going to be able to do it come race day. Like he was able to predict within like the minute of when he would finish Leadville. And then so for me, it was like I really pushed myself in training because I did not want to have where I would show my ass like on the record day. It's just like really embarrassing. And I've
show your ass.
And I've been there before. Yeah. To where like everyone kind of looks at you like, oh, you were unprepared for this. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of embarrassing because it's like, you said that you wanted to do this and then now you just look like a loser and you don't even know what you're doing. And then people are chiming in like, hey, you might want to try this out. Like, cause they feel the need to like coach you up since you obviously didn't do it yourself. Like that happened during the 8100 even for me. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, a lot of advice. This time around, no one hardly really said anything to me just because I was like,
you should wear gloves.
I should wear gloves. Yeah. Except those people. Everyone that was in that room though, they kind of just knew that like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of doubt. I was a lot more dialed.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of when people do just say stuff. And I don't know if they don't believe it or if they're just trying to get a good sound bite or if they're trying to sell but it reminds me of, the Paul Johnson running across America, or the whole country. What do they call that? Transcon?
Transcon.
But 4 days in, he said, yeah, not going to happen. 4 days out of 40 or 50 or whatever, already thrown in the towel. So it's like, well, how real was this attempt?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's, and hey, props to him. He put himself out there. He actually ran across the United States. That's an incredible. But it's just like people will pick apart what you say and how you went about it. And also with revisionist history, look back and be like, well, you weren't even ready. But you said you were going to do this. Why would you say that?
Yep.
So,
And I'm very aware of that just like in the ultra endurance sport space, people will critique you. Yeah. And like if you put yourself out there, you say your goal, just like that Paul Johnson, he was like, I'm going to try to break the record. It was a big deal. A lot of people following along. And then it didn't happen after 4 days or whatever. And then another person I can think of, Ned Brockman, he said he was going to go for the record. And then it didn't pan out the way that he thought. But people will still criticize you, even though you did something that's remarkable. Like running 1,000 miles. I think it ended up taking him like 12 days.
Yeah.
And the people criticizing, they would never even dream of doing that. But since that you said that you were going to do it, they hold you to your word.
Right.
And then so I knew that was going to happen because I would say, people would ask me, they're like, so like, how long are you going to go for? How many do you plan to get? And I said, don't even give me the record if I don't get at least 10,000. So like with saying that beforehand, and then if I wasn't to do it, it's just, you don't want to be in that position. Yeah. So I made it to where it was like the training, everything was absolutely dialed, got down to 7% body fat or whatever, 165 pounds, going to bed hungry, waking up, running like 10 miles, doing the thousands of pull-ups, and just every single thing was just boom, boom, boom. I knew exactly what I was doing for that day. And recently we watched like the Brian Johnson Netflix documentary, and
Don't Die.
Pretty easy to like look at him and be like, what a freak, or like, what a weirdo, what a stupid way to live your life. And then the more that I thought about it, I woke up the next morning, took like my 30 pills, go on the run, come back, pull-ups every minute, on the minute, 10 reps, just standing there for hours. And I was like, maybe I'm more like him than I thought.
Regimented,
yeah, because that is what it takes though, to get to that next level. And then for like high performance, it doesn't happen by accident. So yeah, it's just, you just got to be dialed in every facet of your life. But yeah, big goals, they require a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big one. And it's like, that one's got a lot of attention over the last few years, handful of years. I mean, Goggins first made it famous with his 4,032, and that was in 2013. And, since then, now it's like, it's on people's radar and they want to get that record just because it gets so much attention. And yeah, to get 10,000, it's incredible. So in the training every day, like, how would you motivate yourself to get in that work? Or is this just who you are now?
No, that's a good question. And I don't know where it comes from. I guess it's kind of like going for the record, I would say, brought on a lot of fear, just because of how badly I hurt during that 8,100. It was more pain than during that 8,100. It hurt so badly. My hands, every time I would touch the bar, they were so tender. It would like send like shivers up my spine. It was just like, oh my God. The point is, it hurt so badly, and for me to announce that I was going to go for the record again brought on a lot of fear, just because how badly something's going to hurt. Yeah. And then you can fail. There's always that possibility, and that hurts as well. But fear, you can either use it to your advantage, like cook food with it, or you can allow it to burn your house down. That's like Mike Tyson said something along those lines. And it's true. For me, I've been able to harness that pretty well to where it is an extreme motivation for me. Whether that's like on the runs for the marathons, because I know that eyes are going to be on me, whether it's because of the pull-ups, or I'm your son, or I'm in jeans, whatever it is. There's a target on my back, and I know that people are going to want to compete and beat me, and that's fine. But I use that fear of competition and losing to my advantage.
Fear of failure.
Fear of failure, yeah. So I've been able to do that. I did that really well this last time with the pull-ups, and I don't know what it comes from, but like I just have an idea that like people are like laughing at me. They're just like laughing at me, looking weak, looking stupid, because like I'm saying these big goals and then I don't rise to the occasion, and I want to protect myself from that. So I'm just like, okay, like you guys have no idea what you're like turning me into, and then so I'll show you type of deal. So then I've been able to use that fear and like that of not living up to my expectations pretty well. It's just a good fuel source for me. Maybe even more so than like being thankful for the ability to do it, which maybe isn't the healthiest, but for whatever reason that just gets me right into gear. I just don't want to look weak.
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, I mean, if you failed, I think people would be pretty cool about it. They wouldn't really say anything.
No,
They'd be like,
"Oh,
that's okay. Good job. You tried your best." People are so supportive.
No.
Yeah, they're brutal.
Not that I've seen.
They're brutal on social media. So yeah, how do you deal with like, you do set big goals, you do put yourself out there. I've told you before, there's a lot to hate about you. If people want to be jealous, or they want to, good looking, in shape, good following, doing awesome stuff, that's going to drive a lot of people crazy. So how do you deal with those type of people that essentially want to lash out because for whatever reason they feel a certain way about you and they want you to hurt? How do you deal with it?
That's a good question. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
No, I think I can understand that when you put yourself out there, not everyone's going to just accept you. And that's the world that we live in. Every single person has critics, and I can't expect that it's going to be any different with me. And I just need to stay committed to my goal and stay focused on the task at hand and realize that not everyone's going to be a fan, but that doesn't change anything. Just like every single person in the world, like you could be doing the most good out of anybody, and people are like, well, I mean, so Ken Rideout, I messaged him just because he's dealt with like haters before, as have you. And he said, he messaged me and was like, you could walk on water, then people would say that you can't swim.
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, people will just find anything to point out like a criticism of you because you're getting attention. People are celebrating your goals, the fact that you're going after all these achievements, and then you have publicity, people talking about you. That just comes with it.
Yeah.
And then so I just need to not be so sensitive really to it. Yeah, it's just when you put yourself out there, you just open yourself up to a lot of it.
What I like to say is, love me or hate me, I'm still getting paid. I didn't make it up. I don't know who did, but good job.
Well, there's that one bowler, I forget his name, but
Pete Weber.
Pete Weber?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
Fucking legend.
love me or hate me. He said something along those lines. Love me or hate me, all you could do is watch.
Oh yeah. No, that is another good one.
Yeah.
All you could do is watch. Yeah. Cause he was the actual, people, the whole man in the arena. Yeah. Bowling, probably not the arena. I guess Teddy Roosevelt was talking about, but Pete Weber was the ones people were sitting in the stands watching.
Yeah.
And yeah, you watched. That's all you could do.
That's all you could do. But it does bring up a good point. Humans in general, like sports and entertainment, this is a criticism that I receive. And it's like, I think I posted about myself breaking the record officially. And I was just saying like how much it meant to me, how long of a process it was, and like all this motivational stuff. And I think I kind of took myself seriously in that moment. And then someone was like, relax, buddy. All you did was pull yourself up on a bar.
Yeah.
It's not like you cured cancer or something. And it's like, that is true. And I can understand, like in another, like few years back, I probably would have made fun of the same thing. Been like, all you did was pull ups, you dork.
Yeah.
But you have to take yourself that seriously if you want to set a world record for something, or if you're passionate about something. My mind always goes towards Michael Jordan. And it's like, what did he really do? Put a ball into a hoop.
Yeah. Kids do it every day all over the world.
It's a game.
Yeah. It's just for fun.
You're in school, and then teachers are like, okay, 15 minutes to go and play. What do you go and do? You grab a basketball. You're literally taking a break from actual work, school, to go and play a game, basketball. And that's what Michael Jordan did for a living. But he inspired millions. Maybe inspiration is like a cheap word these days to say that, like, oh, I just want to inspire people. And then they're like, okay, whatever. But the point is, it's like that the 10,001 reps would never happen unless I assigned the most meaning to it. And so if you want to achieve a goal, it has to be like you have to live and breathe it. And then so that's what I did there. And I know it is kind of silly sometimes to think that like a game can have so much meaning, but for me it did. And I hope that people can take that. Maybe you aren't obsessed with games or with exercising or running marathons even. Just like it's kind of arbitrary to be like, oh, you want to break a 2:30 marathon? What's the big deal? That doesn't mean anything. People have done it thousands of times.
Yeah.
But you have to give yourself these goals, and they are personal goals. And I think everyone has a goal that they're working towards. And then for me to come along and say, that's stupid, that I just don't really, it's personal. You know?
Well, a lot of people don't really care passionately about anything. And so they might not know what that's like. Most people, they wonder what their passion is or what can motivate them. They're looking for that every day. They go to a job they don't like, they do whatever. They're just going through the motions. So when somebody is tunnel vision on something, whether it's Michael Jordan on basketball, I'm not saying you're Michael Jordan, but it is an arbitrary thing to be passionate about and be the best competitor in the world, but that's what he cared about. And because he cared, a lot of other people cared and watched him. Same with you. So most people can identify with that mindset because they've never had something in their life that they're like, just like, I got to do this. I have to do this every day. I'm dedicated to this thing. And would their life be richer or more fulfilled with something like that? Probably, but that doesn't mean that everybody finds it. That's the hard part, and that's where people kind of, I think, have trouble connecting sometimes with people who are very focused, and just like the other saying is like, accept no excuses, produce only results. That mindset is very rare. Everybody makes excuses. Everybody has an excuse why they didn't get the results.
Yeah.
But when you have this, like, I accept no excuses, I produce only results. Right there, not everybody gets that. But if you get it, it's going to resonate with a lot of people.
Sure. And I think I can blame you a little bit for this mindset, because you remember, this is your own words. We're at the movie theater, and I don't know how old we were.
Yeah.
I was probably like 10. Tanner was 13. And you said, like, look around. This is average. You don't want to be average. So in the back of my mind from like 10 years old, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but I'm definitely not going to be average, because my dad said that's not what we're supposed to be.
Yeah, I said, look around. It's like all the people standing in line getting snacks, just like we were. But in most people, I'm not whatever, but are overweight, maybe whatever. But I just said, you look at everybody there, that's average. That's not what we're trying to be. That is not the goal. And I think I said, well, this might have been a little too far, but I said, being average is failing. And so maybe I could have worded it better, but.
Yeah. I mean, so if someone wanted to blame me why I'm on this path, I would just say my dad.
Yeah. It's like, it's pretty funny. We were talking about making this film on the pull-ups, and I've said this before, like the old family videos from when kids were little, nobody gives a fuck about watching those until that kid who wrecked on his bike does something amazing, right? Without the amazing part, nobody's going to watch the kid wrecking on the bike.
I don't know. The video is pretty cute.
It's pretty good, but let's put this in context, because I feel weird when people are like, now they see like what you've done. We run together, we do these things, just like, oh, you're the best dad. And I'm just like, oh, you weren't around all the time, I'll tell you that, because I definitely was not the best dad.
Well, that actually reminds me, I'll interject. I went on a run today, 8 miles, after we just did the 18-miler yesterday.
Yeah.
Ran past Briggs Middle School, where Tanner and I would both run in elementary school. You go across the street and run the mile. I'm sure they don't do that anymore. It's probably against the law.
You can't. That's child abuse.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought about this in relation to you, that like we would run around that track, try to see how fast we could do it. Tanner ended up setting the school record. I think it's 6:39. And then 4 years later, I did 6:28. Big deal. Made us feel good about ourselves, all that. But for whatever reason, and I don't know how you contacted the school and were able to do this, but I would get pulled, I think starting from the first grade or second grade, when they would go and run the mile, I would go and run it with them. Mm-hmm. And then so they'd be like, hey, Truett, they're going across, so go and like get with them. And then so I'd go and run the mile with them, and I'd be the only second grader or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And what grade were they?
5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so only the 5th graders would go and run the mile.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
So you asked the school if I could go and run it, and then so I'd get excused every day to go and run it with them. And then I remember Mom picked me up after one day after doing it, and I remember it was, I think you wanted me to get the fastest mile ever by a second grader or whatever. And I didn't get it, but I lied to Mom and I said that I got like 7:21. And I was like, I got the fastest mile by a second grader ever. And she was like, good job. And I was like, yeah, it was either that or 7:51. And then, but I knew that I got 7:51, but I lied because I think I just wanted to maybe like get you off my back for that. Just be like, if I can just give him this, and maybe he'll leave me alone a little about like trying to go
did it work?
The extra mile. I don't, probably not. I don't think I was too well at scheming in the second grade. You could probably see through that. But I mean, I'm sure that there was a lot of pressure as a kid, just running and then trying to perform.
You're sure there was?
Yeah.
Or there was? Or you don't remember?
It's impossible to remember.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that was, I definitely never wanted you guys compared to all the other kids. So I knew that it was just the fifth graders, but I'm like, I don't care. I want my kid running the mile. And I don't care that he's second grade. Same reason I had you run the marathon when you're supposed to be 16, you're only 13.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I'm just like, I'm always been adverse to just comparing to the average. Like, well, this is what we do when we get in fifth grade. It's like, well, no, I want you to do it when they're younger. But, and it's like the average on killing bull elk or whatever is 10%. It's just like, I don't care about average. I'm not, again, we're not after average. We're after setting new whatever. So it started with you guys young. But I guess to the point I wanted to make is that, because there'll be some dads out there that see like our relationship, see what we've done. They tell me, "Oh, you're a great dad," and I'm like, "No, I wasn't." Because most kids, I got lucky with kids that could respond, and it wasn't always perfect. The response wasn't perfect, but there's going to be some kids that some dads see this, starts pushing their kid, and they're just not made for it. It's just like, it's going to turn out bad. That's what I feel bad about. Yeah. I got lucky with you guys because you guys could respond. And again, it wasn't perfect. There's a lot of tears, a lot of whatever. But at the end of the day, we're here now and it's all good. But it was rough for a while.
Well, and the difficulty is I responded about 10 years later. So for a while there, I mean, honestly, maybe that's what it took. For a while there, I did not want to run with you. I didn't want to go hunt with you. So, I mean, it like eventually I came around, but it's really hard to say that everyone's going to be the same.
Yeah. I mean, what if something would happen to me and maybe people die all the time, dads die all the time. What if during that time where we didn't run and didn't hunt because I had pushed you guys hard, maybe what if I would have died and then that was it?
Right.
We got lucky that it didn't happen, and now we have this, good relationship, and we push each other, and it's fun and all that. But it's like, yeah. So when people say stuff like it, I'm like, oh God, I definitely don't feel like I did good. But it's easy now to think, oh man, the kids turned out great. But
yeah, I mean, because there was a level of, and I know exactly what you're talking about now as an adult, how we didn't go the extra mile. We really didn't as kids. Like, just thinking back on it, so we did that 18-miler yesterday, finished at my high school at the halfway point, then ran back. And by the way, you absolutely crushed it, and you were faster than me. So your all-time PR is 250, mine's 242. On paper, I'm faster. Yesterday, I was dying, and you were still ahead of me for 18 miles. Mm-hmm. So you should be, in theory,
yeah,
sub 240. Just say it. That's your new goal. Sub 2. Okay. Anyway,
I'm trying to finish Boston. That's my goal. See if I can finish
Good.
it.
So Marist, I ran there all through high school, track and cross country.
Let me set the scene. You were a great runner.
Yeah.
One time, were you a freshman or what? But we ran Spencer's. I did this little videos in the rain. I said the phenom, Truett Hanes is a running phenom, which you could have been at that time.
Yep.
So that's what I was trying to instill in you, to this belief that you were great.
Yeah, and I think I was 16 at that time. That was my fastest. That was the fastest I ever was in high school. You still have 2 more years after sophomore year, and I let it go. Yeah.
So tell me then what happened in high school.
Well, I underachieved, and I don't know what that came from. Maybe it was just the expectations or the pressure or just how bad it hurt, because practice would hurt. But I just wouldn't go the extra mile at all. I would run with the kids in the middle of the pack during practice, and then I wouldn't be the top finisher in practice either. I wouldn't push myself to like extreme lengths or anything. I just went through the motions, and then I just went to the race, and then I was able to perform better than people. on race day, but it wasn't because of like the extra work I was putting in. And then I think you said this yesterday, but you would see me in practice just running with the middle of the pack, just kind of like goofing around instead of like pushing and being just like being a leader, I guess. And
just
then
giving your best.
Giving my best. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Because losers do that. I don't know what I thought, but the weekend would roll around. Our coach, Chase Wells, he would give us, okay, guys, you got to do 8 miles this weekend just by yourself, get some mileage on the legs. Never once did I do that. Didn't even think about it. Didn't even cross my mind. I was like, I'm going to go to the gym and lift.
Yeah.
And just goof around with my cousin, honestly. So just thinking about that, and I was like, man, if I was in high school now, I would run to school and get that in before everyone else and then run back after school. Just get in because we lived about 4 miles away, just so that I could get the most out of myself.
Yeah.
Because I have that mindset now, and that's what you were trying to instill in us, but we just, as kids, it's really hard to find that.
Yeah.
But
No.
if you can find it, for any kids listening out there, you will be an absolute savage.
Well, and I think we've talked about this, or maybe just us, but you guys did do more than most kids up until then. That's why you had the school records, because I would have you guys run when you were young. And so you were outworking people before that. But then in high school, it's tough because then kids, for most parents, when kids, before they get to high school, they'll pretty much do whatever you say because they got no choice and they're scared of you. So it's like, no, you're doing this. I don't care what you think. But when high school, then they start making their own decisions a little bit. And then you can tell them, and sometimes kids will just be like, I would have done that, but since you told me to, I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of just this butting heads thing that this happens, especially, well, probably with all kids, but young men want to get to this place where they can make their own decisions, be their own person or whatever. So then, not listening to your parents is kind of like a rite of passage almost.
Sure.
So I get that. I mean, Tanner, I did get him to start putting in more work in basketball because I just said that if you do what everybody else does, you're just going to be average.
Yeah, I mean, you told us that over and over and over again.
Yeah, so I said, we got to do more. And Tanner, he started lifting and then would shoot 3-pointers after practice every day. And he's really good as a senior. But it was because of doing more work than others. That's what's hard. That's what's hard that's a tough lesson.
It is, but if you can pick that up as a kid and recognize that more work, more discipline leads to a brighter future and also better results, that's a valuable lesson that translates to everything in life.
Yeah. I'm excited to announce a new sponsor to the podcast, LMNT. LMNT was created by former research biochemist Rob Wolf and has enough sodium, potassium, and magnesium to move the needle and get you feeling and performing your best. Plus, it has zero sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients to derail your low-carb lifestyle. That's why LMNT is my go-to electrolyte drink and trusted by many of the world's leading health experts and athletes, including Team USA weightlifting, coaches, health practitioners, and teams across professional, collegiate, and high school sports leagues. You're also guaranteed to find an LMNT flavor you love. Try fan favorite citrus salt or raspberry salt, get spicy with mango chili, or mix chocolate salt into your morning coffee for a mean mocha. LMNT is offering listeners of the podcast a free LMNT sample pack with any purchase at www.drinklmnt.com/cam. Also try new LMNT Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Sig Sauer is leading the firearm outdoor industry in American innovation, ingenuity, and manufacturing. For over 250 years, Sig Sauer has evolved and thrived by blending American ingenuity, German engineering, and Swiss precision. SIG is synonymous with industry-leading quality and innovation, which has made it the brand of choice amongst the U.S. military, the global defense community, law enforcement, competitive shooters, hunters, and responsible citizens. That's why I have decided to partner with them for my personal protection and concealed carry of choice. I'm also actually working with them to develop some bow hunting friendly carry options because of the dramatic increase of predator attacks happening across the United States. SIG is actually offering something pretty unique in the industry. They're giving you guys a discount to help you gear up for hunting season. All optics and accessories are 10% off using code CAM, that's CAM, at sigsauer.com. That's code CAM for 10% off. Do you remember, like, when I'd say that stuff to you, what would you guys think?
Oh, usually putting in more work meant something that we didn't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of want to hang around and goof around with other kids. Because honestly, I didn't really know any other kids that were doing that. Mm-hmm. So I kind of felt like it was unfair, like it was an unfair ask. And I just remember thinking, like, I just want to be like the rest of the kids, you know, kind of hang out. In high school, there's like parties going on, rather go and do that than whatever the heck you have designed for us. Just, I don't know. I think I just got a little bit burnt out on the whole thing.
Yeah. Then would you and Tanner, like, in your bedroom say, Dad's making us, I hate Dad.
Yeah, I mean, probably. No, all that I knew is that we didn't want to do your design. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so now I can appreciate it because my mindset is in the right place and I want it for myself. But when your dad is the only one that wants it for you, I don't know. I don't think it works.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, now you've come back to it. So now you have these huge goals. You got the one knocked off. And right now you got this video series out, Chasing 230, or what's it called? What's the video?
Sub 230 in 2025 or die.
Okay. There you go. So that's the goal. You did 242 in Austin in jeans on a hilly, windy course.
Yeah.
So we're thinking under ideal situations with this extra workload, which, is whatever, you can say whatever you want, but need to get lighter.
Yeah.
With reduced body weight, with, you got everything going because this is basically your job now.
Yeah.
So you're training, you're eating, trying to eat perfect. You don't always eat perfect every day.
Yeah.
But putting in the training, getting the sleep, doing everything with the goal of sub 230, which is 543s, right, for a marathon. So how's it feel? What's the likelihood of that happening? What do you think? How are you feeling?
Well, I have a lot of races, so I have a lot of opportunity this year for sure. But yeah, what it comes down to is you gotta, and it comes back to like the pull-ups. That's all that I wanted. It was just focusing on that. Half a year, every single day would wake up and be like, I got to get better at this. I got to get better at this. So it has to be the same thing for that.
Well, it was 5 years, but
sure,
kind of 4.5 of almost a high school effort. I mean, maybe more. You're doing more, but not like the last 6 months effort.
Right.
So you still, even though you're an adult and you've learned all these lessons from when you were a kid and wish you would have done this, you still had to learn that lesson yourself of, I got to flip this switch.
Yep.
And that's only been, I mean, you've trained, you've always trained hard, but a lot of people train hard. There's a lot of guys at the gym right now that look like, in great shape, but there's a big difference between training and looking like you're in good shape and performing amazing things.
Sure.
So it still only last 6 months is when you really ramped it up, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's when I really honed in on it and then was giving my absolute all to where like I didn't think that there was anything extra I could do. And that's how you get to that level, is when you're like, I really didn't skip out on any days and I didn't leave any variables out there like that I didn't try to make myself better at.
So what changed? I mean, why were you more committed than almost anybody? And then the last 6 months, even another level, what changed?
It's kind of like, what option do I really have? There's things that we're just naturally good at. And like, there's ways, not to sound like overly dramatic, but like for survival, it's like, so if this is my job and this is what I do, then how could I not show up every single day and give my absolute all. It's like this world record, I wanted to have nothing holding me back, no excuses. And then, so why would I not give my absolute all towards this? Mm-hmm. And then, so like, that's why I quit my job, is so that I could focus solely on that fact, because the kid before me who had the 9250, that's all that he did. And then, so I was like, I really don't like the idea of me not having that option, and me not being able to give my absolute all towards it, because I said that this is what I want to do, so I don't want to be embarrassed. So I made it to where, even playing field, this is what I'm going to do now, and I think that I can go further than you. And then so it was just like, you know, it's my wife and I want to take care of her, and she's my motivation in that sense, to where I was like, I need to make sure that I do this, because it's a big sacrifice for us to take this risk, and I want to make sure that we made the right decision. Yeah.
Because critics could say, well, you quit a job, now you just do, all you do is train full time, and so that's why you can do this. But for most people, 99.9999, they could quit their job and they still wouldn't do amazing things.
And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I think, yeah, you open yourself up to criticism when you have like a weird goal like that. Mm-hmm. It's what I wanted to do. You know, like there's a lot of people, you can do whatever you want with your life. And I don't think that I'll ever offer criticism or critique it or try to give you advice on what I think you should do. That's what I wanted to do. My wife and I decided that's what we wanted to do. And then so we went and made it happen and gave our absolute all towards it. So, I mean, yeah, we made it happen. But yeah, it was a different level of motivation, because it was like either I do this or I don't eat type of deal.
So I guess the biggest change was quitting your job to go full-time in on chasing stuff like this. And then there's a risk like, okay, well, how am I going to make money now?
Yeah.
So you almost have to achieve these amazing things for sponsors to say, yeah, well, okay, we'll pay you this much a month or a year or whatever else. But that's only when you're doing incredible things people care about and they're paying attention to. And those sponsors or advertisers have these eyeballs on them because of you. So there is pressure to perform pretty much every day.
Yep.
A job, and people can dismiss whatever, like it doesn't matter. But when your job is to perform, that's hard, because basically there's one way to succeed, one thing, you did what you said, and a million ways to fail.
Yeah. It's true. I could have got hurt. I could have tore something. Something could have went wrong, or maybe I didn't put in the level of dedication that was necessary. And then what are you? You're just the guy who failed again.
Yeah, because everybody says, I worked my ass off. I gave all I could. Nobody knows.
Right.
Nobody really knows. Everybody says that, but only they know if they actually did that. Mm-hmm. You said you did it and you proved it, because you did the thing. But yeah, that's a tough one, because the only person that knows is the guy looking back in the mirror. And sometimes you can even lie to that guy.
You can, and people do all the time.
Yeah.
And I have to myself before. Remember in 2023 when all I could do was 4,000, the record was 8,000. Mm-hmm. And I remember telling you, I was like, this is going to be easy. The night before, I really believed that. Mm-hmm. And that was a lie, obviously. I was telling myself, I was like, yeah, I don't need to do more than 200 in a day. I should be fine. Mm-hmm. And I seriously believed that. I thought that I gave my all. I was like, yeah, I've been doing this for years. I should be fine. That's a big lie.
Yeah.
And then so this time around, it was like I said, there was no doubt. And I think with a normal job, a lot of the times you can kind of hide behind blame other people for like why maybe the company is not doing well, or you can shift blame for your job, and it's not like ever just directed solely towards you a lot of the times. Like if you work on a team environment, like on a marketing team, which is what I did, to where like someone's just looking right at you the entire day and then seeing if you can perform the task at hand. Whereas the pull-ups, it literally is that. Mm-hmm. I can't hide behind anyone else. It is just me there. And then it's like, well, can you do it? And thankfully I was able to do it, but I kind of like that pressure and just the sole responsibility of everything being directly on me. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's, and I think there's, you mentioned your wife, Alicia, earlier, but I do remember, so there's something that guys need to understand. If your wife isn't on the same page, if you're married, your wife isn't on the same page as far as going after crazy goals like this, or even like being a hunter like me, if she was like, you say, oh, I got to go to the gym, I got to do whatever, I'm going to go train for a couple hours, and it's like, again, when are you going to be? It's like, then that's but she's been like, okay, yeah, you got to put in this work. Did you eat first? Did you do this? And that's how Trace has been with me too, with the hunting, is so basically I don't think I could have done what I've done without a wife like that. I don't know if you could have. I doubt it. But what I remember is it's a little different for a wife too, because if you fail, that hurts. But you're in control of that. When you failed that first time, that hurt her, and she couldn't do anything about it. So I remember going around the corner there and saying, I can't remember if you were there, but I know I was talking to her, and I just said, it's not going to happen today. And she was just like, oh, okay. So, well, does he need to take a break, and should he eat and see? And I was just like, it's not going to happen today.
Yeah.
It's not happening today. It's over. And she was crying. And she wants it as bad as you and can't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. That's intense. But when that's working and you're doing all you can, she's helping support you and believing in you with all she has, that's where magic happens.
Yeah, and it would be a disservice to her if I didn't put my best foot forward every single day in training. To where, like, if I made her feel that way again, I think as a husband, you need to protect your wife because you guys are on the same team, and she's giving me her all. I need to give my all to her as well. And that, in that sense, for the pull-up record, it was like, I got to bust my ass every single day so that we don't feel helpless again like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, to your point, absolutely could not have done it without her. And I can say for certainty, you could not have done what you've done with your life without Mom, for sure.
Hater.
No, I mean, it's incredible. She's, yeah. Mom's incredible. Alicia's incredible. I mean, what do they say? Behind every great man is a much greater woman. In our cases,
I think it's BS. But yeah, I think that's what no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's. I think that doesn't get said enough. But
and then what I will say is, that reminds me, for like husbands listening, your wife is watching you. And so I thought about this. I did the Murph a few years ago. Like the mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, with the weight vest on. And Alicia was there watching me. I believe she was filming me for this. And I just remember thinking, I was like, because I could kind of, it hurt really bad. So I could kind of like wind down a little, hold myself back from going to like that red lining. And I just remember thinking to myself, I was like, my wife is watching me right now. Like, she decided to marry me out of everyone else. And am I going to, like, because it hurts so bad, I'm going to kind of slow down and be like, cut the camera. And then it's like, she knows that I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. And then how is she going to view me after that? So I think husbands need to not take their wives for granted. It's like, you still have a job to make them proud of you. Mm-hmm. And just like you wouldn't want to look weak in front of us, even though that we're going to love you at the end of the day because you're our dad. But you need to have some like self-respect to not look weak. Mm-hmm. And so I just remember thinking that during the Murph, I was like, man, I know this seems like it's not that important, but I want to perform for her and make her realize that she made the right decision by being with me, by not being a quitter on this workout, even though it's just some meaningless workout. At the end of the day, it's like, they're watching you.
Yeah. Yeah. And guys, you don't really want your wife going, my fucking husband's a pussy.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And you know that happens.
Right. Or yeah, I mean, just what I was saying is like, you kind of take it for granted. It's like, oh, they love me. That, we share every day together. It's like
till death do us part.
Right.
It's like, yeah, but you still got to do what you're supposed to do.
Don't be a pussy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, yeah, you do a good job on your videos, on your story of sharing that teamwork aspect. And I think that's a big part of it, because I've seen a lot of guys that they're fighting themselves on trying to achieve the stuff. And then they're also fighting their wife on doing what it takes to achieve it. And it just makes it impossible. This is not going to happen. So
right.
to get your wife to believe in you, you have to give her a reason to believe in you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's what we're talking about. But
yep.
Yeah, so why are we switching gears from the pull-ups, the pull-up king, like the king of Moab, Max Joliffe?
Shout out Max.
Shout out Max. My stomach is, maybe I need to fart.
Is that what that was?
I don't know. My stomach is growling. But you're from the king of pull-ups to the king of Moab, shout out Max, to now what's this running thing? Why are you switching gears?
Check this out. Original quote. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift.
I said that.
No, that's Steve Prefontaine.
Oh.
But I truly believe that there is a lot of untapped potential with running for me. And like
really?
I said, and what sucks is that no one ever told me that my entire life.
That is a tragedy.
If I would have just had a dad that believed in me,
mm-hmm.
God.
And pushed you.
Who knows, right? And pushed me.
Yeah.
Who knows what I could have accomplished there. But I really want to see what I can accomplish there. And I know it's possible. I'm 28 now. I don't know when you're running prime.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice that I was born in 1996. But anyway.
At least you're not 57 and basically dead.
Basically dead. Your best years are behind you. Except you could PR by over 10 minutes, but we don't have to get into that if it makes you uncomfortable having big goals. Anyway, what was I saying?
I'm a bow hunter. No, you said you want to see what you're capable of, I guess, with running. If you go all in, is that what you're saying?
Yep. If I take the same mindset for the pull-ups, because as of right now, I am the world record holder for the longest pull-up endurance event in the world. 24-hour, that's what everyone wants. And I have that right now. Like when you look up most pull-ups in 24 hours, my name comes up. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like a done deal right there. The marathon business, I think, as we just saw, 242, I started to run consistently last January.
And you haven't even had like tons of miles, no big mileage weeks, really. I mean, you did your first 100-mile week, but that was with a 50-mile day. But generally, it's been like 50, 60 miles a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time hitting 200 miles in a month was this January, so just a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. And I believe that comes out to like a little over 7 miles a day on average. Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess a little bit under, actually. But anyway, so I just have not been putting on a lot of mileage because the main thing was the pull-ups. Mm-hmm. And my main thing has never been running. No matter how hard you tried, it never really was. I think just because of like runs like yesterday, 170 beats per minute, 6-minute flat miles usually is what we were running. It hurts so damn bad sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know how hard it is to find that motivation too by yourself.
Yeah.
When you have a training partner like we did yesterday, it makes it easier and you can cope because you have someone pushing you and you don't want to look like a bitch to that person, really, is what it comes down to. But running is hard and it makes like fatigue makes cowards of us all. So I've always kind of shied away from that. But now I want to take that head on and see what I'm truly capable of. And that's why this year I want to go under sub 230. And I think that I really can. I have 8.5 months to get that goal. Like you said, it's 5:43 per mile. That's going quick. But I really think that there's so much potential that I really do have that I haven't tapped into. And I just want to like squeeze everything out of me, take the towel, squeeze it out, see what I'm capable of. And I really think that I could get in the 220s, and then who knows after that.
I think there's something beautiful to, like how you said, is like wringing out whatever the towel, wringing out every ounce of talent you have, essentially, is what you're trying to get. There's something beautiful about that, giving all you have to one certain thing and just seeing where that gets you. And it's just like, it's a big ask. It's big to say it. It's big to put in the work to do that, to be like, this is going to hurt, but I'm giving it everything. But that's, to me, that's honoring the gift of life. Because if we're not doing that, what are we doing? What are we doing with this? If we have a God-given ability, like I always thought you've had with running, what are we doing if we're not honoring that to the highest level? It's like you're kind of taking life for granted, or taking your gifts for granted. So I think there's something amazing about, I want to see how far I can take this.
Yep.
And it's going to be rough, but that's okay.
Yep, I know. And so I have a lot of opportunity because we have the Boston Marathon next month. And then I signed up for the Deseret News Marathon, which is July. That's in Utah. And then I have the Huntsville Marathon in September, and then the New York City Marathon in November. So that's quite a few races, and then a couple net downhills if I really wanted to see what I can do. It's at elevation, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But
what, the net downhill races? Yeah,
both of them. But I think that a pretty good gut check is going to be Boston Marathon next month, and just see what I can do there. I'm hoping for sub 240. And then after yesterday's 18-miler that we did, 6:19 average pace with a 7:30 thrown in there just to warm up, that's a dang good run. So if we can do that, obviously that would be considered a tempo run. But if I can run 6 flats at Boston with the crowd going, actually drink water. We didn't have any water during that run yesterday. I think that we could get, both of us, honestly, right around like 240, if not under it. So.
Me? No. 3 hours for me. No. Try to finish.
Yeah, there you go. Not even 3 hours now.
Yeah. No, it's that'd be awesome. I think that's going to happen for sure. I think given your progression and the amount of work you've done, and now you've done more work, and I think there's also something cool about when you can change your body to adapt to the challenge that you're facing. Before it was you wanted to get light, but still have these muscles for pull-ups. Now you're trying to transform a little bit, hopefully lose a little muscle up top, gain some strength in the legs, lose some body weight. There's, not trying to body shame anybody, but a great runner, an Olympian runner, just told me that his coach used to tell him when it comes down to running, all he wants to see is dick and ribs. So it's like, that's
nothing else helps.
The lighter you can be, then the faster you're going to go. Of course, we're not trying to be unhealthy, but it's body weight is a big part of performing at a high level with running.
It's efficiency.
Yeah, you got to be efficient. You can't be malnourished, of course. So, but you got a lot where you could tweak. And I think there's something cool about, I've always tried to do that. Like, I remember I was up to 190 before, just lifting and barely running, just wanted to change my body. Then it was like, I'd been at 150 up to 190. Now I'm back. Now this morning I was 159. So it's like, there's something cool about manipulating your body to achieve whatever goal you have. And for me, it's always been bow hunting, but now it's been a little bit this running thing, because I've had, since I retired, now I can get a little more rest, a little more maintenance. And it's just, man, it's great your body responds, I think, is the point.
One person that gave me some inspiration during trying to lose weight for the pull-ups, get down, because I've always liked being around like 180, kind of just feels good. I can eat whatever I want all throughout the day. feel kind of jacked and strong. Obviously, that's not good for pull-ups, but it just made me feel good about myself. When I started to lose weight, I had Christian Bale and The Machinist in the back of my mind.
And you talk to him?
And I talked to him every day.
Okay.
Yep. Batman.
Yeah.
No, but he was like 200 pounds, around 200 pounds. He got down to 118. You want to talk about unhealthy? That's unhealthy. All that he would eat is a can of sardines, an apple, and smoke cigarettes.
But you know how hard it is to intentionally and not be like a drug addict, but lose that much weight?
It is insane. I mean, because we are so used to not having any hunger pain at all.
Most people never go to bed hungry for sure.
Go to bed hungry, but even throughout the day, they don't even let themselves feel hunger. It's so uncomfortable. It's all consuming your mind. Like when you fast for religious purposes, they do that because it is all consuming. Like you're almost a slave to food. So it's like, that's why it's such a big deal if you're able to do it for longer than even like a couple days. Like you're not going to die, but your body is so accustomed to just filling your mouth full of food, even when you don't need it, to where if you don't have it, you're on a restrictive calorie diet. And if you want to lose weight like that, for me, I think it was 15 pounds total. It's freaking hard.
Yeah.
It actually is hard, especially if you want to perform on top of it. But so I had him in the back of my mind because he was able to do that. And I was like, if he can do that, I can drop 15 pounds. No big deal. So I think it is cool to make your body ready for the task. You know, just like him, like for his roles, he's gone the opposite way. He's made himself fat for a role. He made himself obviously 118, made himself jacked for Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. So it's just, you know, if you can make yourself ready for whatever task that you're giving your absolute all towards, I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah. And what was your way to lose weight? Was it roughly burning 4,000, eating 3, or what was it?
Yeah, it was right around there. So I would like burn 4,000 throughout the day, eat 3,000, just extremely clean, kind of cut myself off around like 7 p.m.
So you'd get your calories in before you worked out. So you weren't necessarily training fasted.
Right. No.
You were
It's hard to do that.
Yeah. And so ideally in a situation like that, you would have made up those calories at night so your body could recover and refuel. And protein obviously helps your body recover. And that's what people at night do, which if you're training hard, fine. Your body's using it. Most people aren't training hard, so that's all just extra calories. But so you were training after you ate though, but still that recovery at night wasn't happening because you didn't give your body the fuel right before rest, essentially, like a dinner.
I would still have like 250 grams of protein. So like I was getting my protein in, the calories just, it wasn't matching how much I was burning because I wanted to lose the fat and I wanted to lose the weight. And that's exactly what I was able to do, thankfully. So it worked out extremely well. I would have like majority of my carbs throughout the day in the morning. And then I would obviously do like thousands of pull-ups, burn it all, and then just kind of get enough in my body to make sure that I wasn't just like losing a bunch of muscle on top of it to where I was like usually.
Well, with that protein, you're not going to lose much muscle for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just, you know, being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And when you have like a set goal in mind and you have a finish line in mind, you're able to stomach it a lot better rather than if it was like 24/7.
Yeah.
24/7 is hard to do. I mean, Alicia, my wife, she does that. Like she's able to handle that really well because like your body really doesn't need that much food, like you said, if you're not burning a bunch.
Yeah.
But that's hard to stomach for a lot of people.
It's hard. Like, so I usually go, you know, get up, I do all my stuff, you know, whatever. I still got quote work to do. Go on a long run, eat. And then like in the evening where normally I just might look for something, watch Substance on TV, watch American Primeval Primeval. Wait, what was that?
Primeval? I know what you're saying. Yeah,
American Primeval, yeah. But whatever. But normally you'd be watching whatever, and I want to eat something because that's what you do when you watch TV. But lately, because I'm trying to get down to under 160, I'm just sitting there.
That's fun.
is this what people do? They just sit here and don't eat?
Yeah.
Don't eat popcorn? It's weird. It is so hard. When you're used to eating snacks every night,
Right.
even if it's just apples and peanut butter, or I used to eat a lot of nuts, pistachios.
A lot of calories.
Oh, God.
And you don't even realize it.
No, you can just sit there. I can eat like a whole bowl of pistachios, pop them, break the shell, eat them, whatever. And it's like, who knows how many calories that is?
2,000.
Yeah. And I'm watching TV eating all those calories. So it's, when you don't do, it's not super, it's not like, you don't have to overthink it. It's pretty damn easy, but it's so hard to implement.
Simple doesn't mean easy.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of respect to the UFC fighters that do that. Like Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that. What does he walk around at, 220?
Yeah, and gets down to, I think now has he been light, heavy, but he was getting down to 185.
Yeah.
So he's like 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, I don't think people realize how insane that is.
Yeah. So
That
rough.
is freaking hard to do. Cause I was walking around like 185 and he's like 6'4". Mm-hmm. I'm not 6'4".
No.
I'd have to check again, but I don't think I'm 6'4". No.
Am I 6'4"? Oh no, I'm 5'4". That's okay. I knew there's a 4 in there.
Yeah. No, speaking of 5'4", Matt Johnson, you're going down at Leadville.
Yeah. I like this. Yeah. So there's like this, I guess you guys are influencers. I don't know. Fuck.
The battle of the influencers.
Yeah,
Man,
so
that sounds cool.
He's like, he's like a running influencer, but it's all fun. It's, hey, it's healthy. I mean, he's running. He's like doing a great job running, but you guys have this, I haven't heard him mention it much, but I hear you mention it a lot, but like this little head to head. So he's doing Leadville. You say you're going to beat him. I don't know. Does he say he's going to beat you? He probably says he's going to win.
I think he says that he's going to set the course record or something like that. But no, his goal is sub 18 hours. He's being coached by Zach Bitter.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
That doesn't hurt.
Zach's a stud.
He's a stud for sure. But yeah, so I think top 10 is sub 18. That's where he would land. But so that's his goal. My goal is to beat him.
Okay.
So that's
a good goal.
If that happens to be in the top 10, then so be it. But
yeah.
But I guess we'll find out. I mean, we have 5 months about. Yeah, I should probably consider getting in shape for that. Not too worried about it.
So what's your weight goal to try to break 230 in the marathon? What are you thinking you need to get to?
I would say right around your weight, about like 160.
Yeah.
I haven't been that light since high school. But if I could get down to that, that's just because right now, I mean, I weighed myself today. I was in clothes, but I was like 175.
That's why your fat ass was dragging yesterday.
I know. Yeah, it really does.
It's like, come on, big boy.
Yeah,
you can do it.
It makes a difference, though.
You're like keeping your legs apart because your thighs were probably just getting all chafed.
Yeah, and I mean, I know the whole deal with hybrid athletes is, I look badass though when I'm running. It's like you don't look that badass when you're huffing and puffing way back there, dude.
Yeah. When you're holding your side.
Yeah, or like running a 340 marathon isn't as cool as you think, even if you're jacked. It's just like, I don't know. What are we doing? We're there to compete.
Yeah.
So, if I could get down to like 160, I think that I could really, really make 230 possible.
Yeah, it's crazy how, it's not crazy, but if you think about it, it shouldn't be crazy, but the way I feel at 160 compared to 170, so much faster. But it's 10 pounds every step. 10 pounds is a lot.
It's the same exact concept with the pull-ups.
Yeah.
Pulling yourself up. If you're 180 versus 170, it's 100,000 pounds for 10,000 reps extra.
And who told you that little secret?
David Goggins. Shout out to the legend.
I know. Yeah. So what do we have to say about Goggins? You mentioned make, what'd you say? Make comfortable uncomfortable, or make uncomfortable comfortable?
Yeah, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
No. Make being uncomfortable comfortable.
Yeah. Well,
but that's from the man David Goggins. So give me something. What has David offered you?
Well, I didn't realize this, but I was just looking at Badwater, and I think he got third one year, and he ran 130 miles in 25 hours. And it's hot as hell there. Does it get up to like 120?
Or 135?
Or 130 even?
Hot as hell. And that after that one, that was where they had the interview, and we got to look this up. But anyway, they got the interview.
I didn't even notice it, is what he says.
Yeah. They're like, what did you think of the heat, or how is the heat out there? He's like, didn't notice.
David Goggins!
See anything out there that says Death Valley Special? Or
Well, I
something
beat
make
my
this
time
different?
by 4 hours and some change.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. I didn't get to experience the whole spiritual side of the desert.
It'll sink in over the next few weeks.
It will. But as of right now, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like so epic.
Yeah. What's crazy is he didn't know that Instagram was even going to be a thing then, but that's a good edit right there.
Right there. That's a freaking mic drop. Because he just like didn't notice it. I think he may have looked at the camera, but just being like,
yeah, no, that's just how he is. You can't really manufacture that.
no.
You either have it or you don't.
He's got it.
He's got it. Well, he made himself get it. He made himself get it for sure. But no, that's legit. 25 hours to run that, because a lot of people, it's like if you can do 100 miles under 24 hours, then you're a beast. But to run 30 miles extra and right around that same time, that's legit. I didn't realize, because he's not even really built as a runner. Like,
It's pretty good size.
what we've just been talking about. Yeah, he's like 6'2", probably hard for him to get under 180 at his size. And then obviously, like, you know, his knees have caused him problems, but not your stereotypical runner, and he makes it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think in Can't Hurt Me, he talks about, I know at least 1 year he got in 7,000 miles in the year. So if you do the math, it's 20 miles a day every day.
Yeah,
That's a
insane.
lot of miles.
That's a lot of miles.
And I don't think people realize what it takes to do 20 miles every day. That is a lot of work.
That's very consistent.
Yeah. And for a whole year. And I don't know, I'm sure it went longer than that. But yeah, I mean, Goggins, that's where the whole impetus to the pull-up world record started. You've been chasing Goggins this whole time. Finally got it. But also, you got it, though, with his help, with his coaching, with his mentorship, calling you, going over notes, giving you ideas on how to break up the reps. It's, I'm not trying to take anything away from you earning that record, but it made a big difference having like a legend like that who knows what it's like to push that hard and knows kind of the challenges you're going to face, to weigh in. And even just mentally, it just adds to your arsenal, I think.
Yeah, there would be even days where he would call me twice. Just like he would think of something new and then tell me it. But he was so excited to help me just because he's acquired so much knowledge over all the years of pull-ups and how to help yourself during this record, that he just wanted to share it all with me, because he knew that I was taking it so seriously. Because he did a little over 60,000 for when he broke the record in 2013. And then I told him, he asked me how many I did, and I was like, I'd have to go through the numbers.
So in training, you're talking about.
In training, yeah. And then I ended up getting back to him. I texted him, and I was like, ended up doing 120,000. And then so he called me, and he was like, 120,000. And he asked, how many of those did you do by yourself? And I said, 120,000. And he's like, that's right. Don't you forget that. That was all you. And he was saying he doesn't think people realize how difficult this record is to train for. There's nothing flashy about it unless you actually go and set the record. All that training would have been meaningless. Technically, 120,000 reps, that is a long ass time.
Yeah.
And that is just in the garage by myself. So he wanted me to be proud of the fact that I did it, that I put in that level of work, and that people will never understand what that took and how hard that was. But it's 2 contact points. That's it. Just your hands.
Yeah.
And then so he was saying how it was more difficult than any ultra marathon he's ever done, was training for that record. All like the 2 times that he did it, it's just so mental. so mental and then so hard on your body. And then so obviously I asked him, I was like, yeah, how are your fingers holding up like after all these years of training? And he's like, you're in trouble when you're older.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
People that play it safe like to bring that up too.
sure, yeah. But no, he was keeping it real, and he definitely helped me because before I was doing sets of 10, and then I dropped it down to 6 after talking to him.
6 every 30.
6 every 30.
Instead of 10 every minute.
Yep. Just because, you're on the bar for 10 reps. It's a long time. And then
Yeah,
you can
those
start
last
to tear.
those last 4 reps after the 6, which is where he said you should get off after 30. But those last 4, when they start to struggle, that's where you probably start to move your hands a little bit. But yeah, that was a great tip.
Yep.
Doing 6 every 30 instead of that one every 10 or 10 every minute.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, no, I was flying. That was great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I told him, I was like, dang, you really know your stuff. I was like, you weren't kidding.
And he would say that. I remember him saying that, like he's like been through the science of it basically, or like thought about it. So I mean, he is very obsessive.
Yeah.
Like when he gets something in his head, it's probably all he thinks about. So that's what I say. It's a huge advantage mentally, if nothing else. But that one strategy piece was gigantic. But just having him on your side is, man, how does that not help?
Right. Yeah. No, having someone like that in your corner makes a huge difference. And he was even calling during the record.
Yeah.
The record day and giving advice. But yeah, big shout out to Goggins. He's an absolute legend. And then now that I'm shifting more into like ultra marathons, I respect him even more just because how difficult it is and how he's not like your stereotypical runner. And it's freaking hard carrying that weight around.
Yeah. He'd probably have some good tips on ultras too.
Yeah. No kidding.
I mean, you're kind of focused on the marathons for right now, but you do have a last man standing coming up.
Yep.
You didn't mention that in your other race recaps that you're going to be.
No. But yeah, that one I'm going to win, obviously, easily. Yeah, no, people ask me because they did a live drawing lottery how I got into the race. And I think I ended up saying that my dad made a generous donation to Nick Bear. That's how I got in.
Yeah. That's how you've got everything in your life. I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
People would probably think that. Yeah, I'm sure that they think that. But yeah, so got into that race. Nick was kind enough to invite me out. And I hope that doesn't hurt people's feelings or if you're.
Will.
I know. Well, hey, just one more competitor.
This is a little known tip. I don't know if people have heard before, but what camera are we on?
Must be nice.
37. Life's not fair. So you want to get into a race like the Last Man Standing Nick Bear edition, be a badass and have a good following. You'll probably get in.
Well, I mean, he follows me, and then he saw that I put in for the race, paid like everyone else, and then so he just asked me if I wanted to come out, and I was like, sure.
He was just like, "Whoops, you're in."
No, and listen, it didn't.
My shirt fell off.
It didn't take away from anyone else. He just added me extra.
It took from me. You stole that opportunity from me.
You don't want that. You don't want to be in
I
there.
might be. Hey Nick, you got one of those. Wait, what is that with the Chappelle when he's like got the white all over his face? What is he after? Isn't like, don't they have that meme where you got any more of that? Those free entries for me?
Are you talking about anthrax?
No, it was like Dave Chappelle. He's like a junkie on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Yeah. So yeah, you got any more of that? Whatever. So those free entries, Nick?
Yeah, there you go.
So I'll be Tyrone. Yeah, no, that's a good one. Those last man standings are, oh man, a whole nother challenge.
Yeah, that doesn't really help with marathon training.
Theo Vaughn. He said, "Thanks for wearing my hat."
On
the podcast.
How does he know right now?
It's live, baby. He's watching. Hey, what's
Yeah.
up, Theo? Wait, or no, 27 of it. No, 37. Oh, we're still at 30.
Oh no, I have 27. What's up, Theo? Gang, baby.
He did a great show last night too,
Yeah.
Theo. By the way,
And actually, I was going to ask you, how do entertainers fit into the world of people? Like, how everyone says that, like, basically I don't count as a person because I don't have like a regular job, and they're probably right. but just like sports, entertainment, actors, how do you think that fits into just the world that we live in? Or like Theo Von? Because technically we don't need
Entertainers,
or
right? Comedians.
Yeah, or comedians, because I mean, I think if you take that away, what happens? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think there's always been a place for art in society.
Oh, I'm an artist.
So it's, I mean, being a performer is kind of art. You're distracting the unruly mob from their misery. I think didn't they start that in Rome? Wasn't that for the whole point for the games?
Yeah, you mean the gladiators that were slaves? I don't think that were necessarily influencers or slaves.
Yeah, you're basically like gladiators is how I look at it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's a good take.
Yeah, so everybody's like, kill them all. But no, I mean, I think society's always wanted to be inspired, entertained, the arts, performance, music, it always does that. So sports, there's a reason why so many people watch the Olympics. They want to see people compete. And whether it is to be inspired to chase after stuff yourself, or a distraction, or just enjoyment, it's okay to watch stuff and just be like, hey, I enjoy this. This feels good. Now I can do whatever I got to do, but I enjoyed this, hour or two. Like last night, I saw thousands of people entertained by Theo Von and his openers, and everybody was smiling. And I think that's important for society. So if you can do that in what you do, and people enjoy following along, and it helps them like set, maybe their goal isn't to do 10,000 pull-ups, maybe it's to do 10 pull-ups. That's okay. That's how we all get better, right?
Yeah.
We all push each other and kind of feed off each other, and whether that's positive or negative, I guess that's, who you're looking at. But for you, it's a positive example, and that's what you're trying to set. And that's, the type of people you want to connect with.
Yep. Was it Quincy Hall, the 400 meter?
Yeah. The 16-year-old kid. Oh no, the guy who came. No, it's Quincy, somebody who ran the 400, but yeah, you're thinking of that guy who came back.
Yeah, when they're like, and Quincy is fading badly right now on the last 100.
Yeah, Quincy Wilson is the 16-year-old, but yeah, Quincy Hall is the guy you're talking about.
The 400 meter Olympic gold champion.
Yeah.
Olympic gold champion.
Olympic champion or Olympic gold medalist.
Olympic gold medalist. How about that? But yeah, so he came back from, it was like, it's almost impossible what he did.
Yeah.
To be hurting that bad and falling behind in the last 100 meters of that race.
He's really struggling.
Yeah, and he's fading badly now.
Yeah, fading badly.
Is what the announcer says. And then, oh my gosh, he's coming back. He's going to make it. Yeah, and then so he gets the gold. People were counting him out in the last 100 meters. I don't know where he went mentally to find that extra gear, but he found it. And I think that, what did he do at the end of the day? He ran around a lap.
Yeah, one lap around the track.
One lap around the track. But for me personally, I've thought about that dozens of times, just like in everyday life. And it's like, man, if he can like push like that, how much more can I give in this certain task that I'm working on right now? So, yeah, I mean, I would hope that I could be like that for someone else. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, how do people measure importance of life?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of jobs out there that if people didn't do them, the world wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's not important. You know what I mean? So there are doctors who save lives. There are people who keep the lights on and the water going, and those are all very important. But there's a lot of jobs that serve an important role that aren't like just to survive. And that doesn't mean they're less important. That just means they're important in a different way.
Yeah. Yep.
So 160, under 230, win last man standing. How are you training for that, by the way?
Well, by running. I just did 50 miles over the weekend, right before getting here. But yeah, 50 miles. I was trying to simulate the race, 4.2 miles on the hour every hour. And then so got to 50 miles that way. But yeah, just time on the feet.
Yeah.
Getting used to that, trying to get the bulletproof mindset, and then realizing that every single person during that race is going to feel like death once you get to a certain point. And it's just who can withstand that the longest. Who's going to focus their mindset on the next step rather than how many more laps they have to go. If you can just focus the next step, the next mile, and break it down like that instead of like, how much longer is this race going to go for? I think that's how you win it. It's more mental than anything.
Is Chad Wright doing it?
I heard through the grapevine that he was doing it.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
He's a badass.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to get, I'd say you're going to have to get 120 miles for sure to win. Can you do that?
Yeah, and there's a lot of hungry people out there.
Well, if like, do you know who Harvey Lewis is? He's like king of backyard ultras. He did 450. If he shows up, not good.
Am I in trouble?
450.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
That's a lot of days.
Yeah. I don't even know how he did that.
No, I don't know how that's possible.
That is crazy. Because it's every 4 hours for 24 hours is 96 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. So he did over 4 days, no sleep. Unless you're finishing your lap. So how it works is you got an hour. Every hour you got to be on the start line. If you finish your 4.2 miles in 50 minutes, you have 10 minutes. If you finish in 59 minutes, you got 1 minute to be back on the line. If you finish in 30 minutes, which you probably blow yourself out pretty quick, so that's not a good idea, but you'd have 30 minutes. But you have to be on the line every hour. So he was on the line every hour for over 4 days.
Yep. They test for like cocaine or anything like that? I don't know. What the hell?
I don't know. That'd be my only hope.
Yeah, where was his mindset at?
Theo had a good joke about cocaine, or a bunch of them.
He had a lot of jokes about him.
God, he's funny. I love that show.
No, that's another thing that's super mental. I mean, having to be funny for an hour straight in front of thousands of people, and you can't stutter one time.
No,
you can't be uncomfortable one time.
You know, one time he sat up there and he was just like, "Okay, so what else?"
Yeah, but
that's what I would be doing every minute.
But even then, that's part of his act.
No, he was not. He didn't know what he was going to say.
Right,
It was just part of his delivery.
No, I know, but that's a lot of people. It is so mental.
Oh man,
I couldn't imagine for an hour straight, not losing focus.
Yeah, that's tough.
And there's
That's
a lot
talent.
There's a lot of variables going on. There's people yelling that aren't supposed to. People whipping out their phones. He doesn't want that, obviously. People came. You could be thinking about a million different things, or he even forgot part of a joke that he wanted to tell. He told us after the fact, and it's like you let that bother you in the moment, and then just being like, wait, hold on, no, there was another part of the joke.
No, go back. I screwed that up.
Yeah.
No, they can never do that.
No,
it's such an art. I mean, that is a real talent. I mean, to go and I guarantee everybody who left there was like, oh, that was awesome. And remember that one part. And remember when he said this, everybody, thousands of people, you just made their night. And they talked about it all day today.
But he doesn't work a regular 9-to-5 job. He doesn't.
Yeah, it's not really work.
No.
Doesn't count.
No.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Life's funny. So, Peanut Gallery. Do you have anything to ask?
Oh, yeah.
The legend, the phenom.
Okay.
This is, who's speaking here? Is this Larry or Gideon?
Gideon.
Okay, Gideon. Good to hear from you.
Truett, I'm sure you don't ever watch any of the podcasts that I'm on. Well, not even that I'm on.
Was that a burp?
No.
Oh, okay.
But, so, James, I actually didn't know. Have you been a guest on this show before?
More than you.
What?
That's insane.
Are you an outlier?
Yeah, I can be funny for an hour straight.
Yeah.
Funny to look at.
Well, no, that was it used to be Instagram was 15 seconds when Truett first started, and he'd do his little funny videos. And I would just say, yeah, you're only funny for 15 seconds at a time. More than that, you're screwed.
It's more than zero.
Yeah. And now it's up to, you got to be funny for a while.
You got to be funny for a long time.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, Gideon.
So the Peanut Gallery has a kind of a recurring segment here. And so we're going to ask you the similar question. It's fuck, marry, kill. Beating your dad at Boston. The pull-up record, taking it back from, was it Brandon Garrett, who had 92?
No.
Doug Sensor Martin.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. and then beating Matt Johnson.
So wait a second. Oh, you got to give. Okay, yeah.
You got to marry, kill. Those
Okay.
3.
Okay.
That's for you.
And then yeah. Oh shoot, that's
The kill one you don't care about.
Yeah.
Or wait, is that how?
Yeah.
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 Kill one you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care about giving up. The marry one is the most important.
And the one is one you want to bend over and spank.
Matt, are you hearing me? I want to
You're not
spank
gonna
you.
bend him over.
No. Theoretically or metaphorically.
Oh.
So, him at Leadville for sure.
What? Mary?
No.
Oh.
The other, I don't want to. There's kids listening to this.
Coitus.
Make love to.
Okay.
So make love to Matt at Leadville. Doesn't sound right.
Sweet, sweet love.
Okay. So I'll just say it. That's beating Matt at Leadville is
Yeah. Yeah. I think you said that right. And then I would say probably kill beating you at Boston. And then marry beating
The pull-up record.
the pull-up record.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't give up the pull-up record
No, married to the game. And I would say kill beating you at Boston because
that's not going to happen.
well, no, it's kind of sad.
Oh, it is sad.
Yeah, it's just like,
I mean, for somebody as old as me to beat like you in your prime, that is sad.
no, I wasn't thinking that.
Oh.
I was just thinking that like I wouldn't mind if, your dad, you look up to your dad all your life. I wouldn't mind if you're still that guy.
If I beat you?
Yeah, if you're still beating me.
We're on the
like,
same. I thought you were going to go the other way. Like
No.
Okay.
I'm saying that like that would still make me feel good. If you were able to outperform me, I'd be like, good job.
Gay. No, you got to crush me. I got to be some feeble old man that shit his pants halfway, like at the halfway part.
No, I'm sorry. That's the kind of guy that I am. I just want my dad to perform well. How about that?
Okay, you have to give me the pep talk like I used to give you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to give your all. You little piece of shit.
Yep. No, I won't hold back.
Okay, do we got any more?
Yeah. Okay, you talked about the fastest mile time. You said Tanner had it before with a 6:38?
6:39.
6:39. You came in at 6:28. I believe you're leaving out the world's greatest real estate agent somewhere in there.
Ooh, Triple Oaks.
Eric Umenhofer?
Yeah,
Jeez, I haven't said that name in years.
Triple Oaks Real Estate.
No, so Tanner had the record for a year, and then he got beat by Eric Umenhofer the next year, 6:28. I'm pretty sure that we've hashed this out before, right?
I think so.
I think Eric probably paid him off to talk about this again. But yes, Eric Umenhofer, 6:38 is what he got. He beat Tanner by 1 second. Yep.
And then you took the crown.
2 years later.
Yeah, but you'd been training since you were in second grade. That doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count.
We went to Hayward one time. I don't know how old you were, and you ran. How long did you run?
Yeah, so it ended up getting dark.
Yeah.
And I was in my all gold little tank top and shorts, matching shorts.
Starter, I think.
I think I was probably 5 years old. And I remember just kept running around the track. We ended up getting to like 20 laps because I remember you're like, man, I'm so proud of you. This is good. And I think that was the only time you've ever said that.
Probably. I was lying too.
Yeah. So then, yeah, just every single time I was like, man, this feels good. I'm doing exactly what my dad wants me to do and feeling good about myself. But we ended up making it like 20 laps. So I think that's 5 miles at night for someone who's 5 years old. Yeah, that felt good.
And that was Hayward. That was when you could just go to Hayward Field and just go run. Now they got all locked up. Actually, athletes can't even go and run there right now.
Yeah, that was a crazy time to be alive.
Yeah.
That was fun. So we spent a lot of time on that track growing up as kids.
Legendary Hayward Field. But yeah.
Okay. We have other questions too for the film, but this
So
one.
Truett's name is still on the banner at Yolanda Elementary, isn't it?
Yeah, in the rafters?
Yeah, for the mile.
This one I want to ask you on the podcast. You guys have talked about how, you put out these big goals into the world, you speak them. Conor McGregor once said, if you can see it and have the courage to speak it, it will happen. Do you feel like that's true?
Yeah. I think if you take yourself seriously and if you respect yourself, if you say a goal out loud, then you're going to mean it and people will know that you mean it. But yeah, I mean, for me, if I'm serious about something, then I'll say it loud and proud. Just like the sub 2:30 marathon, that's hard to achieve, but I just want people to know that I'm going to give my absolute all. And if I don't say it, then I don't really mean it. It's easy to hide behind something that you don't actually say out loud and verbalize it. So yeah, if you can actually say it confidently, and whether people, however they take it, but if you can say it confidently, trust in your abilities, trust in the plan, then I think you can make it happen no matter who you are. All it takes is everything that you got. You have to be willing to give everything, but no, I mean, nothing is impossible if you're willing to put in the work, no matter who you are. I don't think there's seriously anything special about me, but it's just the fact that I'm willing to put in the work.
Got some ability.
I haven't seen that.
Bad genetics.
I've seen that. I heard that.
Yeah.
So what do you think the difference is then? Because some people will say their goal and they almost get this release of like, oh, I told someone I'm going to do it, and they gave me this praise for having this goal, and then they don't actually accomplish it because their mind kind of tricks them to feeling like they already did it. So where do you draw that line?
That's the analogy of a lot of times people say they're going to write a book. They get the same dopamine and feedback and praise as if they did it already. Like, oh, that's great. And then that's all they ever do is just say they're going to. They never do it. So that's kind of what this is mirroring.
I think there's a word for those type of people. Losers?
Dumb.
No, I mean, if you seriously get your rocks off by just saying that you're going to do something and then nothing materializes, then that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you would even feel that way. But I'm sure that there are people like that. But
some people might be genuine, then get that feedback, and then lose the drive a little bit, and then the momentum's gone. I don't know.
Yeah, then you never wanted it in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I would take from it.
Yeah, but I mean, like someone like Conor McGregor, he didn't give himself any other options.
No, and we're not just, this family isn't just like, I've heard people say some crazy shit, and I'm like listening to it going, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But conversely, our family, we don't usually talk out our ass. If we say, okay, I'm going to do this, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's like, there's not just like these fake little, I want to be celebrated for a little bit, I'm going to say this thing. It's like, it's going to happen. You're going to say it, it's going to happen.
Yeah, if you say it, you should mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last one. This one's just for me because I wanted to get it on public record.
He benched 230, blah, 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 did a 50K.
No. I know where he's going with this.
You said something you said to me haunts you every day. You doubted me. Do you have something to say to me?
James, what camera am I speaking to right now?
27.
I don't.
You know what this is about?
Yep.
Okay.
I voted.
This is not good. James has been harboring this pain for a while and this resentment. Or not James, Gideon.
There was a poll, and it asked who we think is going to win this 50K, the Frozen Trail 50K that I ran with him and Eric this last December, who I thought was going to win between him and Eric. The head-to-head matchup, much like Matt Johnson and me at Leadville. I voted for Eric Umenhofer. Biggest mistake of my life. I didn't realize that he had the knees of an 85-year-old.
You'd think those quads alone would have got him.
I think maybe what happened is his quads are so big and strong that his knees malfunctioned. They didn't know what to do with that level of force. But yeah, James absolutely smoked him. And I voted for Eric, obviously, because he had run a marathon previously. James never had. I thought experience would work in Eric's favor. It did not. James crushed him. And I mean, I don't want to badmouth Eric. I don't think he finished in time before the cutoff. Eric, is that right?
He didn't even finish the actual course.
This will be off the record.
Yeah, Eric. He got,
Except this is live.
he came down the main trail of Pisgah, and I was sitting in the truck waiting for him, and this side by side, a maintenance person, like came down the main trail and drove off. And when he got in the truck, I was like, "Oh, I thought you had ridden in the maintenance vehicle." He's like, "No." We get like 10 minutes down the road, and he's like, "All right, I got to be honest." He's like, "I had him drop me off." He's like, "I told the guy drop me off like 10 yards up the trail so my friend doesn't see me."
Oh, nice.
Well,
Smart.
So, okay. I apologize, James. You made it happen. You're the man. But also, you voted against me between myself and Matt Johnson at the Leadville 100. So, looks like we're even.
Looks like turnabout's fair play.
I was just returning the favor.
Yeah, well,
Understood.
I think we can't really mention the Frozen Trail Ultra without giving a shout out to Rodney Williams, who got the win.
Rodney Williams, congratulations.
I think
Beat
that
me,
was
better man.
I think that was his first Ultra win, which he's a good runner. He's
Yeah.
a stud. Love Rodney.
Been putting in work.
Oh man,
He lets the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, just a grinder, and been working. I know, talking with Ben a little bit, Ben Blankenship, who is a great runner, Olympian from around here. He coaches people. Big Timber Running Company, I think it's Big Timber Running. He coaches mostly for the Eugene Marathon, but been helping Rodney out with advice. And Rodney's, man, he's a freaking stud. But he got the win that day. That was cool to see. If you weren't going to win, I wanted him to win.
Absolutely. Speaking of winning, who do you have?
Boar.
Matt Johnson versus me, Leadville 100. Because you're going to be there, actually. You're going to be running it. Right?
Am I? I have a hurt foot.
Yeah.
Remember, I can't.
Ah, that's a good point.
My
Yeah.
foot is broke.
Okay.
But here's what I said, because somebody did we talk about this on the last one?
Yeah.
With Matt Johnson? Yeah. So I just said Matt is. I don't know where I said this, but I think I said you're a hard person to doubt these days. You put in the work. You got the ability. You got everything. Matt is also very dedicated. He's won a 100-miler, I think, in 19 hours. He's ran 10 miles in 56 minutes, which is flying. So he does have ability, proven to be a good runner, proven to be tough, ran across Texas. So he's a stud. I can't doubt. I think you got such a high ceiling. If you get your mountain miles in, you'll win. If you just run on the flat around your little neighborhood, Theo had a good joke about a neighborhood too. Like, he said he didn't know his neighborhood was basically just a bunch of druggies that had sex and kids. That's supposedly a neighborhood. So
That
your
sounds like mine.
your neighborhood, if you just run around your neighborhood, it's going to be rough. If you get in the mountains, yeah, you're going to win. That's my prediction.
Matt, are you with us?
You still there? Matt.
Matt, testing. Yeah. So,
But Matt's going to be, I heard he was going to be in Leadville for like 7 weeks. So,
I think it's 5.
okay.
It's 5 more weeks and I'm going to be in Leadville.
Yeah.
But what I would say about that is either you have that dog in you or you don't. You know, we're going to find out.
I know who's going to win.
No, me, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that too. You're hard to doubt everything you've been saying, you've been getting. I think the next to fall will be that 2:30 marathon, and then hopefully get the win at the last man standing, and then beat Matt at Leadville.
Yeah, that's not too much.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, that it's good to have high expectations of yourself, and yeah, it just keeps you motivated, keeps you focused on the task at hand. So that's what I like, and I like the pressure. So,
Did you run today?
yep,
Good man.
of course.
Yeah. Well, is that it?
That's it.
Okay. That's a wrap. Thank you for the podcast. You got anything you'd like to close with? Shout out to all your peeps.
Yeah,
Gang.
shout out to my family. Shout out to Alicia. Couldn't have done it without all you guys. Love the support, believing in me. And yeah, just, I don't know. It's pretty great having people that love you and support you and everything that you do. So yeah, if you don't have that, then you should get it.
Yeah. Good, and good luck finding that, because yeah, it's a perfect storm when it happens. But yeah, they say that your dad is the only one who wants to see you do better than them. That's true. So it's yeah, I love seeing you win. I love seeing Tanner win. I love seeing Tanner and kick ass. Yeah, you guys all make me proud, and yeah, very honored to be your dad. So
Appreciate
keep it up.
Thank you.
Love you. Keep hammering, y'all. Later, Gideon and Larry.
Someone to blame, they sent their hate, it fuels my pace. I am Roy Tough, I am the change, the fuel in dirt, feeling like Cam Hanes. Oh, give me the Mars, nobody wants, I'll give you my heart, I came to work.